Caitlin, I saw you having a long conversation with the official. Walk me through your perspective on the flagrant foul. What was the point you were trying to make to her?
It's just a good take foul, you know. If either Angel gets wide open 2 points, or we send him to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a good take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
Apparently, trading Caitlin Clark is now a real conversation. And just when Indiana stopped hyperventilating, here comes Colin Cowherd tossing gasoline on the rumor fire, like it's his full-time job. The man's got opinions, and this one might just spark a basketball civil war. Is he being dramatic? Absolutely. But is he wrong? Well, that's where things get spicy. So here we are again, watching the WNBA invent new ways to self-sabotage like it's a competitive sport. Forget loading the rosters or growing the fan base. They've apparently moved on to organized plot twists. And this time, the genius idea floating around, ship Caitlin Clark off like she's a tradable Pokemon card and call it strategy. As if that wouldn't set the entire league on fire. No, not just Indiana. The whole operation would go up in a glorious blaze of mismanagement and chaos. Let's start with the obvious. If you trade Caitlin Clark, you don't just ruin the fever, you crater the league's one guaranteed cash cow. This isn't about losing a player, it's about losing the storyline. Clark isn't just dribbling a ball, she's dragging an entire franchise and, let's be honest, half the WNBA into relevance with her bare hands. Every ticket sold, every jersey printed, every headline scribbled, it's got her fingerprints all over it. Now imagine snatching all that momentum and mailing it out in a FedEx box. It's the kind of move that makes people throw their remotes, cancel season passes, and start watching pickleball out of spite. Because there's dumb, and then there's historically stupid. And this would be the latter with extra sprinkles. But wait, it gets better. Not only are we entertaining trade rumors like the league has a surplus of stars to gamble with, but we've also got the coaching equivalent of a plot twist ripped from a soap opera. The same coach who once sat back while Clark got poked in the eye like it was part of the halftime show is now conveniently hired to be her boss. Huh, what's next? Bring in the trainer who iced her ankles and put them in charge of conditioning? It's not even subtle. This isn't a coaching match, it's a setup. A coordinated performance dressed up in lanyards and clipboards, and the message is loud and clear. Silence the star, dim the spotlight, and pretend it's for the team. But we see you. We all see it. Clark didn't just get benched, she got politically sidelined. And the front office didn't just pick a coach, they picked the coach. The one with a suspiciously familiar resume of selective justice and passive-aggressive bench rotations. Now let's be real, Clark doesn't fit with this coach, and that's putting it gently. Their basketball chemistry is like oil and a dumpster fire. The system isn't built around her, it's actively rejecting her. This isn't a clash of styles, it's a cold war in sneakers. And the fallout is visible every time she's yanked from the game, while a random bench warmer logs minutes like it's charity work. And why would a league that's finally got eyeballs glued to the screen start pulling this stunt? Simple. Control. Control the narrative, control the star. Keep the fans just entertained enough, but not too empowered. The last thing they want is a player with actual leverage. That's dangerous, that's disruptive, that's unbenchable. So what do you do when you can't stop the momentum? You hire someone who can. You put a polite smile on the hit job and call it player development, except the only thing developing is a bad reputation and an angsty fan base with receipts. This coach didn't just get hired, she got positioned. And if the conspiracy vibes feel strong, it's because they're practically slapping you in the face. And don't let anyone gaslight you into thinking this is some normal rebuild timeline. No, this isn't just rookie growth. Clark's not in a growth spurt, she's in timeout, like a toddler who dared to color outside the lines. Because make no mistake, this isn't about basketball. This is personal, strategic, and very, very political. And here's the kicker. Everyone's acting like this coach is just playing it safe, like there's some grand plan. But safe would mean using the best scorer you've got, not duct taping her talent and hoping fans won't notice. This isn't chess. It's sabotage with a whistle. The fans see it. The broadcasters see it. Twitter sees it. The popcorn guy in row 5 sees it. Meanwhile, the rest of the league, oh, they'd love for Clark to get shipped off like a sacrificial lamb. Can you imagine the ticket surge if she landed somewhere that didn't treat her like a radioactive liability? Drop her into Vegas, and they'd build her a statue by Thursday. Send her to New York, and she'd headline Times Square before practice. But keep her in Indiana under this regime, and you might as well be storing fireworks in a freezer. Nothing's going to explode, and everyone's going to be disappointed. And yet, there's still this idea floating around that it would somehow help the team to trade her. Help who? The lottery odds, the backup point guard's confidence, the merchandise team that's already 2 months behind on Clark jerseys? Because, spoiler alert, without her, Indiana's not rebuilding. They're vanishing. Clark is the only reason national networks are dragging WNBA highlights out of the editing bay. She's why middle-aged dudes with no idea how the draft works are suddenly experts on pick-and-roll defense. You don't trade that, you protect it like it's the Ark of the Covenant. But if you were trying to crush that momentum, benching her would be a great start, and hiring her basketball nemesis would be the icing on that nuclear cake. You just have to make sure it looked professional. Lots of press conferences, plenty of buzzwords like versatility and system fit. Keep the optics clean while the sabotage runs deep. It's actually impressive how calculated it all seems. Like someone in a suit sat down and said, let's hire the only person in the league who could possibly make Caitlin Clark look replaceable. Because that's the mission. Break the hype, flatten the curve, restore the old hierarchy, and if a few games get lost in the process, collateral damage. So let's not pretend this is about patience or rookie mistakes. This is about power. Power the league doesn't want concentrated in one player. Power the front office doesn't want walking into press rooms and owning headlines. Power that threatens the status quo with every no-look pass and step-back three. The league could have embraced it. They could have ridden the wave and let the magic happen, but instead, they built a dam and hired a lifeguard to stand there with a clipboard, pretending there's no water behind it. Trading her wouldn't just be an error, it would be a declaration. A loud, flaming middle finger to progress, fans, and the very future of the league. And guess what? People wouldn't just tune out, they'd walk away. Because it turns out watching greatness get mismanaged like a clearance sale isn't very entertaining. So go ahead, keep benching her. Keep justifying it with vague coach speak and recycled nonsense about team development. But don't be shocked when the fans stop showing up, when the ratings dip, and when the star you tried to muzzle walks right out the front door with her fan base in tow. And if that happens, don't blame the fans, don't blame the media, don't even blame Caitlin Clark. Just look at the front office, the coach with the vendetta, and the league that let it all happen, and say congratulations, you played yourself. And just when you thought the league couldn't make it more obvious, they've turned the full circus spotlight onto Caitlin Clark with the subtlety of a bulldozer in a glass shop. At this point, it's not even conspiracy, it's choreography. The commissioner, the coach, and every suit in the building seem to be in on the same Broadway production, How to Humble a Star Player in 10 Games or Less. Poor CC, she just wanted to hoop, sign a few autographs, and bring some dignity back to Indiana. Instead, she's been dropped into the middle of an industrial-sized sabotage plot dressed up as culture building. You can practically hear the theme music playing in the background every time she's subbed out for someone, averaging 2 points and a nosebleed. He sees crime, being too good, too fast, and too popular. That's it. That's the felony. She walked into the league with the audacity to be beloved nationwide, and now the powers that be are treating her like she walked in carrying a baseball bat instead of a jump shot. They talk about her impact, but refuse to build around her. It's like watching someone give a standing ovation with their arms crossed. Meanwhile, the league keeps dropping buzzwords like breadcrumbs, growth, equity, system development. All that corporate yoga speak that sounds deep but means absolutely nothing when your best player is parked on the pine while her team loses by double digits. It's a PR smokescreen so thick you'd need NASA to see through it. And here's the worst part. They think they're fooling us. They think the fans will nod and say, yes, it's about balance and process, while watching a generational talent get babysat by a coach with a revenge subplot. Spoiler, we're not buying it. This isn't balanced. It's bad theater with a scoreboard. At some point, Clark will have to make a decision. Stay in the Hunger Games or demand a trade to a franchise that actually wants to win basketball games instead of political points. Because the league has tied its relevance to her without ever admitting it. The whole ecosystem is orbiting Clark while pretending she's just a regular planet in the system. But remove her, and you don't just lose a player, you lose the gravity. and the W can act surprised all they want, but if Caitlyn finally says enough, she won't be the villain. She'll be the escape artist, and everyone else left behind, still trying to pretend it was all just part of the plan.